Can you zap your brain with electricity and get smarter? I personally fought depression and anxiety that was fairly severe for years. And for a long time, I took medication for it. But there's only so much anti-anxiety medication a person can take. And because I was so depressed and anxious all the time, I had a hard time absorbing new information, mainly because I couldn't focus on it. When I tried to find an alternative, I discovered tDCS and it really changed my life. Today, I'm going to talk about how tDCS can be used for cognitive enhancement. It's one of the best ways to use tDCS as a tool to help you in your daily life. Lots of people are using it this way, including me. I'm Claude, and I am the Daily Zapper. Cognitive enhancement is probably one of the most popular reasons why people search for a tDCS device. And I think it has to do with the fact that DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, did a tDCS study a few years back involving sniper trainees and drone pilot trainees. They exposed a group of these students to tDCS during their training. They also exposed another group of students to a sham tDCS session. It's like a fake session that has the same general look and feel of a real session, but with no actual stimulation, to make sure that they're not just having a placebo effect from it. So they ran a proper scientific study with these students, and they found that the ones exposed to real tDCS managed to learn their lessons up to 40% faster than the control group. This was, like I said, a few years ago, and that's when tDCS took off and became very popular. There were magazine articles and more studies conducted, and to this day, there's a lot of interest in tDCS because of this study from DARPA. I mean, if you think about it, 40% is a huge number. It's like basically saying that there's a chance you can learn something in almost half the time as you normally would. So when the United States military gets involved in a study like this, people notice. Results like this, and like other results from other scientific studies related to different uses for tDCS, seem to show that people do get benefits from tDCS that are beyond just statistical aberrations or placebo effects. That being said, it is very important to realize that tDCS is not some magical, miraculous thing you can do once or twice and instantaneously learn calculus. tDCS doesn't put knowledge or skill inside your head. You still have to do that yourself. The key difference is that with tDCS, there's an increased potential to absorb that information faster than you normally would. And that is why it's important to understand a little bit about how someone learns something. What happens in the brain? What type of activity happens in the brain that causes you to actually become good at a task, to become an expert? We all heard that phrase, the brain is a muscle. If you exercise a muscle, it gets stronger. So if you exercise your brain, it gets stronger also. Say, for example, you decide to learn to play guitar, but you never played guitar before, so the first time you pick one up, you probably won't be very good at it. That's because to play guitar, there are many different skills involved. Without being aware of it, you have to synchronize multiple areas of your brain. The cool thing about it, and what fascinates me about this whole thing, is that most people can already do all the things that a guitar player does when playing. Here's what I mean. Let's go through what it actually takes to play guitar from a purely physiological or mechanical perspective. So number one, you need to be able to move your fingers, right? Check. You can move your fingers already. Sometimes you can move them very precisely. If you have another skill that requires that, say for example, handwriting or typing, you can do that already. Number two, you can hear music and follow along with it. Check. You probably know the words and maybe even the notes of your favorite songs. If you heard your favorite song and the guitar was not tuned properly or it was being played on a different key, you would probably be able to tell. Number 3, you can breathe, hopefully. Number 4, you can hold a 7-pound wooden box strapped to your neck. Check. So this is a simplification, but stay with me here. So if I were to ask you, can you hold something that weighs about 7 pounds or about 3 kilograms, move your fingers while listening to one of your favorite songs, and don't forget to breathe, there's a chance you would say yes, correct? But that doesn't mean you can play the guitar. What is the difference between you, a person who never played guitar, and the guitar player? In one word, practice. What is required is that you repeat the same movements over and over again for hours at a time, for days, for years even. But if you really love to play guitar, you would do all that, and in the end, there's a good chance most people would have some sort of guitar playing skills. The guitar will be familiar to you. You would know all sorts of neat little tricks and moves that you couldn't do before. The reason is because your brain physically changed and adapted. They call this neuroplasticity. With all that practice, the regions in your brain that were not wired to work together in a way to allow for guitar playing will start to physically change. Clusters of neurons, hundreds of millions strong, will struggle to communicate efficiently with each other at first, because the pathways between them were never used in that particular way before. There's a part of your brain that controls your fingers, and it has to connect to the other part of your brain that is keeping track of the tempo so that you can do the note at the right time. The path is way longer and more crooked on someone who doesn't play guitar. And after a while, those convoluted and crooked paths will give way to true brain highways where the connection between those brain regions is faster. The brain cells actually stretch out and reach out to each other to find shortcuts. And that is where tDCS comes in. tDCS seems to work by polarizing or depolarizing brain cell membranes, which is a technical way of saying that the brain cells are primed for firing after tDCS. When they are exposed to tDCS, brain cells get more juiced up. And so when they are used, they fire more efficient electrical signals that are stronger. That is what seems to cause the accelerated learning effect we're talking about. There are other ways tDCS can enhance your cognition as well. Not only you can potentially learn 40% faster with tDCS, studies also show that you can do so with increased focus and concentration. Because by just exposing brain cells to tDCS's extra electrical potential, they work more efficiently, which lots of studies have shown to have an effect in mood and anxiety levels. So, tDCS can potentially cause you not only to have a better chance at absorbing and adapting to new information, it also could potentially lower anxiety levels and improve your mood while you're at it. Combined with your desire to learn and your dedication and effort, a little help from tDCS can go a long way to help you play the guitar or get a good grade in calculus or whatever your highest goals are. You can use it as a tool, and like any tool, if you know how to use it properly, you can build great things with it. As luck would have it, we happen to sell tDCS devices. Our device is simply one of the best tDCS devices you can buy today. Our family and our employees work very hard every day to make sure we are offering the highest possible quality device we can offer. Our device is the highest rated tDCS device available online, and you can just look us up. Go to this address right here, and you can see all the details about it. We highly recommend that you do your own research about tDCS. You would be amazed at how useful tDCS can be. And if you decide to get a tDCS device to try it out, we are here for you. We have been selling a completely analog tDCS device for over 4 years now. We have sold thousands and thousands of units over 45 countries around the world, and it's so well regarded and so well received by people because it's extremely well built and has virtually the simplest possible internal design a device like this can have. Because with fewer parts and less complicated digital control systems, the device is naturally more reliable. And with a built-in meter, you can monitor its output at all times, increasing safety even further. We are the only device on the market with a built-in meter today, and you definitely want a meter on your brain stimulation device for reasons similar to why you would want a speedometer in your car. Thank you for your time and for watching this video. Cognitive enhancement is an extremely rich topic. I will revisit this theme in the future because I want to share with you all the many different activities I discovered over the years that, when combined with tDCS, can help brain function and cognition. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, liking this video, and maybe even sharing it with your friends. And don't forget to visit our website if you want to purchase a tDCS device. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you next time.